Regarding the title of this year's conference, Is the State Under Deconstruction? How do you see the role of state in modern diplomacy, especially in resolving crisis?
One of the things which I've been studying is the EU pre-accession process, right? And as Minister Lajčák said today, it's all about state building. And one of the things that we see, I think, is the importance of having a strong, functional, democratic, transparent state and then being able to tackle some of the biggest international problems like organized crime and drug trafficking and cyber warfare. And one of the problems that I see in Europe is the kind of variation in the strength of the state. And there have been some really interesting discussions at this conference about what is a strong state, how do we get there. It's not about having the strongest security services necessarily or the strongest military, but it's also about having a state which has very legitimate institutions.
Okay. And is the Balkans on the road from conflict zone to security community?
Certainly. I mean, it's the regional cooperation efforts in the Western Balkans have been substantial for a long time now. What I think really, for me, because I'm a political scientist that studies political parties, what I think is most important now is that in no country in the Western Balkans do we worry that at election time a party will be elected that will undermine regional security. And so at least, even if we don't always have the best relations among the governments, even if there are tensions, they're never at the level that we worry that a new government will come in and destabilize the region through going back to that kind of identity politics or us versus them. And that's fairly recent, right? Because 10 years ago we were still quite worried when elections came around in a number of countries in the region.
What is your impression on Third Belgrade Security Forum?
This is my second time, so I was here last year as well. I think it's a very interesting mix between academic conference on the first day, which was outstanding this year, and then layered with the policy people from the NGOs, and on top of that also people who are politicians and part of the political class in Serbia and in the region. It's been, I think, really interesting to see these different groups mix and exchange ideas, because oftentimes at conferences like meets like, and here you have a real diversity. And I've also really enjoyed meeting the students that have worked here. This is my second year, and now that I also teach at the Faculty of Political Science, I have to say that coming back here and seeing some of the students has been a highlight for me.
Any suggestions for the next Belgrade Security Forum?
I think that sometimes I feel like the Belgrade Security Forum should be more engaged with Serbia and Serbian politics. Sometimes the panels go farther away from the region, and in a way that's good because it broadens the discussion. But on the other hand, I feel like there are such exciting issues on the table right now for Serbia and for its neighbors that I would like to see, for example, a panel with representatives from Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and Macedonia, and then let's let them go. I also think no one should speak for more than 10 minutes ever.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.